This channel keeps saying Kyushu is the smart place to buy a cheap Japanese house, and that is true, but it dodges the actual question a real buyer needs answered. Which of Kyushu's 7 prefectures? Fukuoka, Saga, Nagasaki, Kumamoto, Oita, Miyazaki, Kagoshima. All genuinely cheap, all genuinely part of the same regional story, and all completely different places to actually live. Ranking them is not about crowning one winner and dismissing 6 losers. Every prefecture on this list earns its spot honestly, and all 7 share the same underlying Akiya story: rural depopulation, buildings that lose their value fast, and cheap land as a result. What actually separates them is everything the vacancy statistics do not measure: transit, community, healthcare, and how forgiving each place is for someone arriving with no local network at all. The ranking is about which one earns it for a specific kind of buyer, counting down from a strong, honest 7th to the pick this channel keeps coming back to. Saga takes the 7th spot for the same reason it is easy to overlook. It does not shout about itself. It sits between Fukuoka and Nagasaki, reachable within an hour of both, with some of the cheapest land in all of Kyushu. Since 2022, Saga's own relocation grant accepts movers from anywhere in Japan, not just Tokyo, a genuinely rare condition among these grants. What holds it back from ranking higher is identity. Saga does not have Beppu's onsen fame or Kagoshima's volcano, and a newcomer moving there is buying pure practicality rather than a distinct sense of place. For a quiet home base within reach of 2 bigger cities, it may be the smartest, least glamorous pick on this list. Nagasaki earns 6th for a genuinely unusual mix. As Japan's historic window to the outside world during centuries of isolation, it blends Japanese, Chinese, and Dutch influence into streetscapes that feel unlike anywhere else in the country, and it welcomes foreigners with less friction as a result. It also ranks 3rd nationally for hospitals per capita, a real advantage for healthcare access. Island living on Goto, Tsushima, or Iki adds a slower-paced option within the same prefecture. It sits below the top 5 mainly because that healthcare and cultural richness concentrates in Nagasaki City itself, while the cheapest Akiya sit further out in towns that do not share the same infrastructure. Miyazaki takes 5th on lifestyle alone. Some of the sunniest, warmest weather in Japan draws a genuine surf culture to spots like Aoshima and Hyuga, and the prefecture has quietly built a foreign community of over 7,000 people from roughly 90 countries, a striking number for a place known mostly for beaches and mangoes. What caused it a higher ranking is geography. Miyazaki sits somewhat apart from Kyushu's main Shinkansen corridor running through Fukuoka, Kumamoto, and Kagoshima, so leaving the prefecture for anything beyond a day trip takes more planning than it does almost anywhere else on this list. Kumamoto ranks 4th as the region's genuine growth story. A multi-billion-dollar semiconductor investment has made it one of the most economically dynamic prefectures in the country, sitting at Kyushu's geographic center with fast rail access to Fukuoka and Kagoshima alike, wrapped around Mount Aso, and more than 1,000 hot springs. The honest reason it does not rank higher is the very boom that makes it interesting. Land near the chip fab towns has already surged in price, and a buyer chasing this prefecture specifically for its growth story needs to shop carefully to actually land in the cheap Akiya part of Kumamoto rather than the increasingly expensive part. Kagoshima takes 3rd as the prefecture with the deepest inventory, roughly 184,200 vacant homes and a vacancy rate above 20%, genuinely mild winters for movers from colder climates, and a dramatic backdrop in Sakurajima and the Kirishima Range. Its foreign community already includes thousands of residents, with Vietnamese nationals forming the largest group. What keeps it from the top 2 spots is scale of newcomer infrastructure specifically. Kagoshima offers volume and scenery in abundance, but a first-time mover with no Japanese and no existing local network will find slightly less built-in support here than in the 2 prefectures above it. Oita, and Beppu specifically, takes 2nd for the single most walk-in and you are not alone community on this list. Ritsumikan Asia Pacific University alone brings a permanently international student body from more than 90 countries into a mid-sized city, and Oita produces more hot spring water than anywhere else in Japan, over 2,000 individual sources. Multiple accounts describe it as comparatively easy to live in without fluent Japanese, a rare claim for rural Japan. It loses the top spot only because that international infrastructure is concentrated specifically around Beppu, rather than spread evenly across the whole prefecture the way the winners is. Fukuoka takes the top spot, not because its Akiya are the single cheapest on this list, they are not, but because it offers the most complete package for a newcomer actually trying to build a life here. It holds a national global startup and job creation special zone with its own startup visa, an airport 11 minutes from downtown by subway, one of the largest existing foreign communities in Kyushu, and 2 consecutive years ranking second nationally among prefectures where foreign residents say they want to keep living. Rent still runs well below Tokyo, and Seoul sits closer than Tokyo does. The honest trade-off is real. You will likely pay a bit more here than in Saga or deep rural Kagoshima. What you get in return is the widest safety net on this entire list, for the specific job of actually settling in, not just buying cheap. That does not make the other 6 wrong choices. It makes Fukuoka the default answer when someone cannot yet say exactly what they want, and any of the other 6 the right answer the moment they can. Beppu for community, Kagoshima for volume and scenery, Kumamoto for growth, Miyazaki for lifestyle, Nagasaki for healthcare and history, Saga for pure value. Every prefecture here rewards a different kind of buyer. Fukuoka is simply the one that forgives the most mistakes while you are still learning to be one. If this made Japan's empty house market a little clearer, subscribe to Akiya Handbook, the channel that explains how Japan's cheap houses actually work, honestly, and without selling you anything. There is also a free guide waiting in the description, the Akiya Buyer's Starter Guide, how to buy a cheap house in Japan without getting burned. 11 chapters on the truth about so-called free houses, the hidden costs, and who should not buy. No hype, and completely free. The link is below. Thanks for watching.